Welcome back to the Living for His Glory podcast. I'm here with my friend Tanner Lorms. Now, Tanner, he caught me by surprise back when we were in high school. I remember my sophomore year, junior year, I was battling out with him. It wasn't too much of a battle, though. And then all of a sudden, I show up one year, and oh my gosh, he's just as good as the rest of us. This guy is an amazing dude. He's an amazing golfer. And I'm excited to hear what he's got to say. I'm excited to hear a lot about his story today. He's got a good one. Just an awesome dude. And I think that he's going to be a really good guest for this episode. I'm really excited for this whole conversation. Tanner, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on. I know we've talked a little bit about getting on here, and we just haven't really got to align the right days, but I'm excited to talk, and it's been good catching up with you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm super excited for it. But yeah, I debriefed you on this earlier. As listeners are probably getting used to me saying by now, we're just super big on stories. Like, I believe that stories is how we learn the most. It's how we grow the most. Lectures are built for information, but the true
Mhm.
learning and application happens from stories and connecting those stories to other people and just having a good time with that.
100%. Yeah.
So we're excited to hear your story and just get into it, man.
Yeah, awesome. I went to Raleigh High School, Northern Kentucky, played there for a couple years. Like Luke said, was never really too good till about junior
I don't
year of
know.
high
No,
school.
you got pretty good, man. Come on.
Around junior year of high school, I was pretty decent, played some good golf, better than what I have been playing before. So I was excited about that. Was looking around at schools to go to and was upset with what I was getting. Wasn't getting really the D1 offers that I was wanting, and that's what I was striving for my whole life, and I put all my identity into was let's play D1 golf. D1 golf. Didn't get that at go, and I committed and signed in November to Cedarville, Ohio, which is a small Christian school. Continue to play golf and realize, hey, I think that I have a chance to go D1. And I don't know why I sold myself short. Is that's how I felt, even though I didn't. I think Cedarville is a great school, but just wanted to check out other options where I think I would fit in more and it'd be a kind of a better area for me to go. So I unsigned, which is a bold move when it was May when I did that. So I have about 3 months before college, and I was reached out with schools, and luckily decided to go to Queens in Charlotte, which is a small Division I school in the ASUN conference, and I had a good time. I met some great people and played a lot of good golf. And just throughout the years, things happened, and I was seeing that my focus wasn't as much on golf, and I didn't enjoy it as much. Now, just taking that step away from golf, but really just thankful for kind of what's happened and stuff in between that's really shaped me to make these decisions and understand more about who I am.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. So you really just a massive focus on identity, that shift from playing D1 and everything that mattered there, and then just where did that transition to? Because I know I've had a lot of experience with that, and a couple weeks ago we had Evan Davis on, and he had stuff to say on that, especially from his viewpoint of being a professional golfer trying to break through.
Yeah, 100%. It's golf's all about identity. You know how it is. We all know how it is. When I was in high school, I always wanted to be that guy that everyone looked at was like, "Whoa, he's good." And that's what like when I came out of in junior year, I was playing some decent golf. Nothing great. It was never spectacular. But when I did, like I had a really big ego. That's all I wanted. And slowly started to realize, is this all I was doing this for? Playing good golf, does this mean that much to me? It really doesn't. I look back at it now and I just play around sometimes, have some fun out on the course, and I would just enjoy it so much more now because it's not my identity. It's not what my full focus is. And there's nothing wrong with being fully focused in golf and trying to go pro or anything. Just for me, I just couldn't handle it all. Not the pressure, but just not having to give up other things and having to give up my personal time to go play a sport that I knew I never wanted to go pro in, first of all. And second of all, I just didn't know if it was really what I wanted to do with the rest of my college career.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. It's interesting because you go to college, and I had this experience too, where except I truly did believe I was going to go professional, and at this point, I don't throw that completely out of the window yet. But golf it's just such a big focus in my life, and I completely get the D1 thing because I'm playing D2. I've played it for 2 years now, and honestly, 2 years ago, I thought that by the end of this year, I'd be transferring to some D1 school somewhere. I thought me going down to D2 was a necessary evil. of just
Yeah.
like a purgatory of, okay, I knew I'm good enough to play D1. Now it's just here's my chance to prove it and just learn how to compete and play really well here and then keep moving
100%.
up. But just so many roadblocks in there. What were the roadblocks for you found out after your freshman year?
There was a lot of roadblocks. Being in Charlotte, it's a huge city, a lot of distractions there, a lot. Being a freshman coming into the team, people, all eyes are on you. It feels like people don't expect much from you golf wise, so you keep flying with the radar golf wise, but people are just interested in who you are. You have to build a reputation first couple weeks, first couple months. You have to meet people, make new friends for the other 4 years. And I just felt like that was hard, not hard for me, but they were really focused on golf. And I got there and was really focused on golf. But just outside of golf, there were some things that I was wanting to go out with my buddies, do all these things where it's affecting my golf. It's not making me like golf as much as I want to, because there's distractions in the city or even at school where if I don't want to go practice golf, I don't have to. And that kind of was a challenge because it took my focus, like I said, off golf and more into other things that weren't necessarily helping the team out. I don't think that ever hurt the team, but yeah, just not all the right decisions that I should have been making if I wanted to fully take it seriously.
Gotcha. Yeah. There's a lot that goes on there, right? Especially playing golf as competitively as we do. And I only got a glimpse of what you got this past year playing D1. I have a little bit more freedom playing D2 golf. Coach's routine for us was golf, practice, qualifying, whatever it was, Monday through Friday. And then we didn't have access to the course on Saturdays. And then he's a pretty religious guy. So Sunday, he'd also have us off just the Sabbath. If we golfed on the weekends, it was by choice.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of us don't choose that because,
100%.
well, like you said, there are other things. Like we've got projects, homework. Some of us are boyfriends. We're hanging out with our girlfriends, but it's a challenge. It's a real challenge about deciding what to do. Especially my college is in Nashville, Tennessee. We're a mile and a half away from Broadway.
100%. Yeah.
We could walk there. There's a ton of distractions, man.
A lot.
Yeah, and I don't know how it was with you in Charlotte. Like you said, it's a pretty big spot. It's got its own NBA and NFL team, but neither of which are, I'm sure you probably didn't go catch too many of those games.
I don't think I caught one of either. Yeah, I think I went to watch the soccer games more. I went to a couple soccer games and to a couple NCAA, like the bowl games there, but never an NFL game or an NBA game. Wasn't too interested.
No, I'm willing to bet that if you were a fan of one of those two teams, you wouldn't have had a very good time.
No, probably not. It's nothing worse than the Steelers, though.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You are a Steelers fan.
Watch a 9-8 season every year, whatever it is. It's just barely winning.
It's either 9-8 or 10-7. That's right.
But yeah, no, it's definitely different down there, and just like Nashville, there's just, like I said, a lot of distractions. And our school, we didn't have Sundays either. No Sunday practices. Qualifying was Wednesday through Saturday most weeks, and we'd play at Quail on Monday and then practice on Tuesday, sometimes Wednesday, and then Thursday through Saturday.
Yeah, like the Quail?
The Quail, Quail Hollow. It was a decent course.
Yeah. Oh, is it really? Oh, man.
Yeah, no, it was a nice little perk to have. That was my favorite part about it. So
that's a treat, man. That's a treat. Was there anything non-golf related that you found a significant struggle in your time there?
Yeah, just like non-golf related, just like everything there was, just the temptations there, and not only that, but just the opportunities. And like I'm on my own for the first time as a freshman. I know you were a freshman. Everyone was a freshman at one time. They're on your own if you weren't living at home. I'm 8 hours away. I know nobody at this college, not one soul. I know our family best friends are 30 minutes away, so those are the only people I knew. I could see them whenever, but really, like, it's my own little world down there. I could do whatever I want. But that's something that you could struggle with when you have no accountability at all, and you give a 19-year-old just the keys, and you're like, here you go. You're on your own now. You're going to make your decisions, and you're going to suffer, or you're going to prosper from your decisions. And as a 19-year-old, first year into college, my mind was not fully like, hey, this golf thing is really big. It was more like, hey, like, I'm on my own now. I'm a big boy. I can do what I want to do and what seems right to me.
Yeah. Well, you give a 19-year-old the keys, you just know you're going to mess up.
100%.
But
Yeah.
I think that's a big reason why I like having guys around our age here, because I believe demographically we can speak better and relate to each other better and create bigger impact just within that. But also, it's like we're figuring it out for the first time.
Yeah.
And I think we're not a lot of people like they can look back in the rearview mirror on it, but we're still living it.
100%.
How to live like that, and the mistakes are a lot more fresh in our minds. We're still reflecting on them, and we're still learning from them, and we're still like, oh my gosh, what the heck was I thinking?
Yeah, 100%.
What am I thinking right now? That sounds like a good idea, but is it?
100%.
So I just love stuff like that, where it's figuring it out as we're going and just living that way.
Yeah.
Is there a way that you were shaped by these struggles? Because let's be honest, struggles shape us the most and then grow us the most because they challenge us.
100%.
Was there a way that these struggles really shaped you in a way that has caused you to figure things out better and to live for God's glory?
Yeah, 100%. Because you look at it and you look back at all these things, a lot of people are like, "Man, I regret that." And yeah, there's some regrets there, but there's a lot of just going out, just stupid stuff, fall and spring. And near the middle of spring, met this guy named Davis Baxter in college golf fellowship, and he really just pulled me in. Was really a great guy to me, and he saw me at my struggles, and he kind of said, "Hey, you're in college. This happens to a lot of kids, and you're not alone in this," which is really cool to hear. But not only that is, I think a lot of times we hear from older people, we're like, "Hey, don't make these mistakes, because I made these mistakes." But we haven't lived through it, so we don't know. We just hear it. You hear anything, and you're just like, whatever. You take it with a grain of salt. But just seeing him and him explaining to me what he went through, he played college golf as well, and just seeing what he went through and him explaining to me and him showing me, and also just the grace that he showed me, that really made an impact in my life because I saw like, hey, I've made these mistakes, and now I can see like how Jesus forgives me. If this human can forgive me, then like how much more could Jesus forgive me? Like I would show the Bible study and talk about stuff and then go back and sin or whatever. But I was like confessing to him and also just praying and talking to Jesus about it, but he was just gracious, and that impacted my life a lot. I think those struggles really were the only thing that got me to him, because I confessed kind of these struggles that we had one at small group, but I think that Jesus put on my heart, like goes on my heart when we're at small group randomly. Like these struggles have helped me grow a relationship more and really figure out what I want with my life.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
When you can't beat the devil in the dark because that's home court. That's just, you can't do it. We can't, it's more than just in the dark. It's no matter what the situation, we can't beat him by ourselves.
100%.
He is stronger than us because we're just human. As awful as he is, he's a spiritual entity. When we bring stuff like this into the light and we fight him there with a brother, with accountability partners, because you mentioned earlier when you were getting into whatever stuff you did, you had no accountability.
Yeah, no accountability
Now,
at all.
accountability is it's an amazing thing because there's a level of self-accountability that me and you need to have for ourselves. I'll bring a comparison into lifting, for example. Now, if I need to go on a squat rack and squat, and I got to work out by myself, and I'll lift, I'll squat, I'll do dumbbell presses, I'll lift, like I'll do that, and I'll guarantee you that I'll do that, even if it's by myself. But I got to get to the end of the workout, and I got to do my core exercises, and I'm by myself or no one's watching. I'm like, notice I don't do this. There's certain things where it's like you need that accountability partner. There's certain things and practices that you can do on your own and you'd be okay doing. But there's also certain things where you're like, I need somebody to help me with this.
100%.
Or at least they would at least help me push through a little bit more. Like even if I did core, I do it half-heartedly and maybe give up a little earlier than I could have, right? Having a partner there with me, it's like I'm pushing through because you're here with me.
Yeah.
Now
100%.
that may fall on a little bit of competition as well, which is never a little bit is never a bad thing. But with something like this, it's like you got a brother that's here and supporting you, there with you, and that's such an amazing. That's a strong thing to have, especially if you're 19 years old, out in the real world for the first time. You don't know what's going on. how can you really function or function well if you don't have somebody that's been there, that's trying to help you, that loves you like what you have? I had guys myself. There was one guy, and I'm trying to get him on the podcast. He's just a busy guy. He just graduated, Zane Johnson. So I spent 2 years with him, and he really taught me what it meant to be a good teammate again. Because I was a good teammate back in high school, but I also grew up with those guys. And we came from the same area and similar backgrounds. College, man, and all of a sudden, like, I got guys from Dallas, I got guys from Vegas, I got guys from there in Nashville, up north, all corners of the USA. We had 2 guys when my freshman year from across the pond in Britain. I had to figure out, how do I get along with these guys? Because while some of them were from similar areas, or I shared similarities with, some of them were from completely different areas, but also Nashville is still a good 3.5-hour drive. It's still a changing culture, and they had different upbringings, different parents, lives completely apart from the 18 years I had in Lexington, Kentucky, and at LCA. They're not Gray Golf. They're not McCain Collins, Jake Merriman. I don't know how to connect to these guys, just because they're also just different people with different backgrounds and different likes, and they haven't experienced a guy like me. I'm one of a
Yeah, 100%. Where you grew up with some of those guys and then know everything and you know everything about them, which, yeah, it's different. It's 100% different.
Yeah. They also know how to tolerate me, because
Yeah.
I'm interesting. I'm an accidental mess maker.
It's
So
funny.
you may have experienced this. I'll say something and not mean it like that, but it will come across like that.
Yeah.
I'm a lot better now than I used to be about it, but like, it'll still be.
I remember just always laughing and stuff because before I knew you, I think I met you because Matthew went on a cruise with you.
Yeah, that's
One of my
exactly.
teammates.
That was crazy.
That's exactly unreal, unreal. So how we met was because one of my buddies, he doesn't even play golf anymore. I met you on a cruise, but I remember hearing you on the golf course just from a hole over, by Lake Tyson, just yelling out. I was just like, what is he talking about? And then
Yeah.
Matthew introduced us, and I was like, okay, this kid's quite funny. But like you said, and it's just completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different. You have kids like us from Kentucky, and I love everything about Kentucky. I went away thinking I don't want anything to do with Kentucky. It's the weather's not good. There's nothing like a lot of fun to do.
Me too.
Nothing great. And when I went, everybody there, 3/4 of the team is foreign. 2/3 or 3/4 of the team at my school, on my golf team, is foreign. So like I have teammates from Australia, Dubai, 2 from England, Jamaica. The girls golf team, we have people from Canada, Paraguay. So it's every corner of the earth is covered. Jed and Reese, 2 of my better friends there, had one from Scotland and then Kazakhstan. So we're really covering just every part here. Thankfully, they all spoke English because that could have made it really hard. But definitely the culture is just completely different, just very different. And that was a weird thing for me growing up in Kentucky. Hate to say it, but Kentucky's it's in a little bit of a bubble. It's a bubble.
We're not very diverse down here.
Not very diverse, and especially where we grew up. I grew up in this little horse neighborhood with a golf course, and you don't get to really experience the real world and what's out there. So right when I went there and meet all these guys, it's so hard to get along with people at first. Reese, one of my better friends in the team, I couldn't understand his accent for 2 weeks. And then it started to like slowly become like English to me. And I started like talking like that because I was just getting so used to hearing his accent.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy. That was a crazy part for me too, is just learning about everybody. And honestly, I wish I could take those first 6 weeks back of college. I think those first couple weeks, just meeting everybody, it's a cool thing. That's the cool thing about life too, is I love meeting people, and especially from different backgrounds. It's cool, hectic, but there's a lot of learning to be done when you meet other people and see how they interact with their family, their friends, how they treat others. You notice a lot of things about the culture. A lot of cultures that I know on my team, like, they don't really value anybody else's opinion but their family, which is not a bad thing at all. Which for me, I'm family. I respect a lot of what my friends say. My friends are one of the most important things in my life, and other cultures don't see it that way, which is interesting.
I've learned techniques to I can connect. I feel like at this point, I can connect with just about anybody. I figured out a lot of things out through a lot of mistakes. Here's one. And I actually talked about this with Ben Newman a couple weeks ago. He's awesome dude, by the way. He's great. He was like, if you want to be a great leader on your team, you
Mhm.
want to help build culture, you have to get to know each of you guys individually and what makes them tick. He has something called the burn, which you have your why, which is important, but then there's the burn, and the burn is what gets you up in the morning. Like you may think, oh, like my family or my friends, but like this burn deep inside you that really just gets you up when it's 5 a.m. and gets you going.
Yeah.
And he goes, you need to go find their burn and you need to connect with them personally and just intentionally. So these guys with different backgrounds than us, and I did a terrible job of this my freshman year. If I can take my whole first semester back, I would. Heartbeat would be like, I would take who I am now and I'd put myself in those shoes and just completely redo everything. Everything.
Yeah.
And my teammates will attest to this. I was not great. I didn't connect to them. I didn't make the effort to understand them and their culture and who they were. I only cared about me. I cared about the winning culture I came from at LCA, and I wanted to make Trevecca that, but I didn't think about my teammates. I thought about me. I need to step. I need to show them what winning looks like when we're all fairly good golfers. And by me trying to have
Yeah.
that attitude, I played way worse. I played awful, like genuinely, because I just had so much ego and it was just about me. And if you're just going through life and it's about you, man, you're just going to burn out very quickly. You might find short-term success, but it's just a burnout. And so this long-term, I can't keep that up because like the guys I was with in high school, I played for them and I trusted them.
Yeah.
I didn't play for my guys at college my freshman year. I didn't trust them to perform, and I didn't care about them as people. And so what he did was like care about them, connect them, be intentional, figure out what their why and their burn is. And that's how you connect to them. And that's how you become a leader because now they trust you
Yeah.
and
And
they
that's
respect you. And now they'll follow you anywhere.
yeah. All of that. That's especially in the workplace too. And you own a company or whatever it is, you have employees that work for you or people that work alongside you, and you have to give them what they, what do you really work for? A lot of people work for their kids, give them time off with their kids or just whatever it is. A lot of people, and that's what this finding my why. I was like, why am I doing this? Like ego too. Get ego checked a lot down there. A lot. There was a lot of moments in golf where like 4 days into school, we go play our first tournament, whole team goes. And I'm just like exhausted. 36 holes walking. Ugh, brutal. Get dead last. And I was like, is this golf thing really for me? Like, this kind of sucks. And I was like, this is terrible. And just was struggling with that. Why am I here? Do I even want to play golf? Do I enjoy it anymore? I don't think I enjoy it anymore. That's what I was thinking because I took it so seriously. It's such a competitive level. And also, when you talk about why are you playing college golf? I don't want to go pro, so why would I play college golf? Yes, the experience is there. You meet a lot of people, great connections, but there wasn't that tick for me that other kids had. Other kids would practice a lot harder and try a lot harder because they knew where they wanted to go and what their goals were. And my goals didn't align at all with their goals because I think I'm probably one of the only kids in the team that doesn't want to go pro or give it a shot at going pro. I think everybody wants to. So just different, definitely different, but that was a big part of why I wasn't going in the same direction, didn't want to stay.
Gotcha. What was God telling you in that? I don't know what your prayer life was like.
Yeah.
You heard him? Like, what was God telling you in the middle of these questions, these figuring out?
Yeah, I would say my first fall was really bad. Just just ego. Just thought I could do whatever I want now. And on my own, I walk in the campus and it's small campus. I'm like, I'm a big fish here. I'm gonna be that guy. I could do whatever. Just not a good mindset to go. It's just very egotistic. And it was hard. Just that's all it was. There's good parts about it, and then you realize when that part is over, how you just don't really feel that great. You wish you would have done things better, and that's kind of how spring went. I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna take this seriously now. I'm going to actually lock in and not just joke around and do what I want to, but actually take golf a little seriously." And I qualified for my first two events. got dead last in my first event in Florida, and then like back half of the pack in my second event. But as a freshman, I'm qualifying for these tournaments, so I was like, okay, this is a lot better. Still very discouraged though, because what happened in these tournaments. And one thing that I remembered though is, hey, like you weren't focusing it much your fall. Like you didn't take it as seriously as you should. So I was trying to give myself a little bit of grace. And I go into the third and fourth qualifier tournament. The qualifying is together, and I'm 6 or 7. I don't remember the exact number, 6 or 7 under, with a 6 or 7 shot lead. The second place is at Eden, and we have 2 rounds left. And I'm thinking, hey, I'm going to qualify for every event this spring, play better golf. Like, I'm going to actually prove it in tournaments. I can prove it in qualifying. I just got to prove it in tournaments now. And I remember I had shot a couple scores in the 80s, 2 back-to-back. And I went from getting in to being like the third person out. I wasn't the first person out. I was like the third person out of actually qualifying after having a huge lead, like 10 shots on third too. So those things really, I think that's what really made a turn. I went to Davis. We had Bible study on Mondays. I was like, hey, like I'm frustrated. I just don't feel like it's fair. Don't know like why I didn't qualify for this. Everything was going wrong. I went on right after the second. Sorry to backtrack. After the second round, the very last round of the 2 that shot 80s, I drove straight down with 3 of my teammates to Hilton Head for spring break with my mom. She was down there and she wanted us to meet her, and I got the flu right when I got there. So I was like, could this week get any worse? I just choked away 2 tournaments. My spring break's ruined because I have the flu. Had nothing to run to. Had nothing to be like, okay, this is okay. And I told Davis about it. I was like, hey, I've struggled off the course. I've made mistakes. I've went out on weekends, weekdays, done things with my friends that just lived for the world a lot, which it's still a struggle. It's really a hard thing to not, like, especially with their generation. But I just told him all that stuff and was like, hey, like I need help. And he just told me, gave me the whole rundown, which I've been a Christian my whole life. I know all about it. But he kind of was like, hey, in this moment of your life, Jesus he still forgives you. He still loves you. That was a big thing for me because, like I said, I had nowhere to go when I played bad golf. I called my mom. I was like, I think I want to come home, like middle of the semester. I wasn't going to because I knew I would tough it out, but it was just such a hard moment there that week, especially. But like I said, met Davis and went to CGF camp mid-May, and just awesome experience to meet other golfers and stuff that also share that same faith and know the struggles that I went through in my first year of college and kind of how they got through it too. I know I ramble a little bit there, but that's what it was.
Yeah. How did you get plugged into a guy like Davis? Because that's a really important. Mentors are an incredibly important part of life.
Mhm.
Like finding a mentor, at least somebody that loves and supports you and wants to help you through things. But a lot of people don't have that, or they don't feel like they have that.
Mhm.
So how did you get plugged into a guy like him? And what would you say to those who thought that they didn't have a chance to meet guys like him?
Yeah, I was really fortunate. Our coach, really good dude, Coach Childers. He was my coach at Queens before I just left, and he, at the very beginning of the year, was like, "Hey, Davis from CGF, he does his ministry. He wants to meet you guys for breakfast, and it's a weekly thing." And I would go. He would bring Chipotle to campus, and we'd do all this stuff. So we meet, and at first, it wasn't as much about Bible study, but it's about meeting him and getting to know who he was. And I looked into him as a mentor. Funny enough, he actually went to UC, and he was Austin Squires' roommate, who was a member of Triple Crown as well, where I play. And also, my coach, I went to Doug Martin for a couple years for lessons. I already had connections that he had connections with, and it was just cool to kind of like talk about back home and the fact that I met him in Charlotte, which is so cool. I would have probably never met him, and I get in Charlotte, I meet him, and we get to know all these things about each other, and we would just connect on a personal level. So it's really just lucky, and I don't think anything's luck. I think it's all part of God's plan. So that was how I met him, and at the beginning of the fall, didn't really take anything seriously, and then in spring, I was like, hey, I can rely on this guy. He's stuck around for me. Like, he cares. And I think that's what we need to do to brothers and sisters is stick around, just be there for them. That's the main thing is if you're there for them in tough times and good times, people remember that. and people will run to you and ask for advice because they trust you. And like you said, you're trying to build that trust with your teammates. It's just all about being there for them.
Yeah. I've got a coach, and I guess he's more of a life coach, is what I'd call him. He's definitely not a golf coach by any means. And he told me it's not about who your best friend is or any of the stuff like that. It's about who shows up for you, who's showing up for you. And I'm willing to bet that we all have somebody, at least one person in our life that just shows up for us, that's there for us and that loves us enough to do that consistently. I think there's a lot of different reasons why you can say, oh, I can't go to them. Maybe it's they're busy. I don't want to bother them, or this isn't big enough of an issue. I can just overcome this myself. I can deal with this myself. Or it could just be straight up fear. What are they going to think about me? Are
And
they even going to like me or want to talk to me or anything like that? And that is scary. It's scary for somebody to get to know you. It's scary to make that jump. Agree?
yeah, 100%.
But what's most important is making that jump, because you may think that it's small or you may think that it's scary. But I believe that if you're like, hey, this person has shown up for me and this person has decided to love me, I don't see any reason why they would stop. Especially if you're just talking to them and trying to figure out life with them and trying to overcome issues with them. Like, I don't see why they ever would drop out. Like, they're not going to think about you less. They're just going to be there and try to help you in your time. And if anything, like, they just get to know you better.
100%.
I say that the more you get to know somebody, the more you get to love somebody.
Yeah,
Tanner, I can't love all of you because I don't know all of you.
100%. Yeah.
'Cause unfortunately, I don't get to talk to you so much anymore. Not ever since I
Yeah, yeah.
graduated. And I miss talking to you. I miss hanging out with you.
I know, 100%.
I'll
Same.
have to get you down here to Lexington sometime. We'll play golf at Keene or Champs.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But that's just the nature of our relationship. I don't know you as well as I know somebody like Gray.
Yeah.
I know Gray more. I get to love more of Gray than I do of you. But if I knew more of you, I'd still love you too.
That's how it is too in life. And just stuff like that happens. And just like loving somebody, I didn't realize how big it was, because I love you. I love all my friends, but it's who you spend time with. It really is who you spend time with and who you're looking out for. We all can't be there for each other in every moment because we're not near each other. You and Gray are in Nashville and you guys were in Lexington together. But like Davis is a guy that I just met and he looks out for me like he's known me his whole life. And that was something that was huge.
Yeah, he's just showing up for you. He's proven that you matter. He's proven that you're valued.
100%.
That goes a long way, no matter how big or small it is with somebody.
Yeah.
Like that, it's just so valuable and so important, so amazing when you find somebody like that. And I've made it one of my life's missions to be that for somebody else or multiple other people. Just show up and connect and be there for people, because I think that it's like one of the top 5 best things that you can do in this life. Loving Jesus and having a relationship with him is number 1. But if you do that number 1, I believe you'll do what we're talking about here. You know why?
Yeah. You overflow. I feel like when you have a relationship with him, and what I've realized a lot is no matter how hard I try, like I can't give people the love that they deserve to have unless it's through him.
Yeah. Because we can't love like he does. And a part of that is our sinful nature. Because he was sinless, he knows love that much more. He has that much more compassion. So that's a part of it. But also, yes, like human nature wise, I'm torn between my flesh and the Holy Spirit that lives in me all the time. And some of it's what you were talking about with ego. But some of it's just actually this stems off ego. I can get too competitive. I can get so competitive, I stop loving you. I'll be out on a golf course and I'll be competing against somebody. They're playing well and they're doing good, and we're having a battle, and I'll start losing, and I'm like, man, I just gotta beat you. I'll lose my vision. It's like I'm just walking or living without sight.
Yeah.
So I lose what's important. That's something that I'm working on and growing in myself, and I've gotten a lot better at it. But just, hey, this is a person and golf is a game. And no matter what, the best thing I can do is just continue to show love and compassion to somebody.
100%. Yeah, and I think the thing is sometimes he may lose your vision. That's one thing I struggle with is I would snap on somebody and be like, "Come on, like why would I do that?" But the thing is you could lose your vision, but he doesn't lose sight of you. He's with you, and that's the best part about it. Because I was talking to David, I was like, "Dude, I'm still struggling with going out, doing whatever I'm doing, whether that be like the small, like not small things. It's just the way I talk to this person, the way I treat this person, and I'm doing all these things, and I'm like I'm trying to be perfect. No, it's not about being perfect. It's not about always reflecting him because you never will, but it's about
Absolutely.
just like knowing that he's like there. He sees you even when you lose sight of him. And it's somewhere in scripture he says he'll never let you go. Once you're his, he'll never lose sight of you or let you go. Not word for word, but that's so true. Especially in college when I was lost. Still, we're all lost. I feel like we get lost every day. We stray away from the path, and he's just always there watching you and doing what's right for you, which you don't get that kind of love from anything else.
No, it's so amazing to have guys like Davis that model Christ as well as they do.
Yeah.
And of course, they're not perfect either.
100%. And that's
But
what I realized.
yeah, but they have modeled that love for us. They've reflected, and they're a mirror themselves because they've shown up for us and they've been there for us. And we see it authentically. We see it because it's their authentic person. Davis has I haven't met the guy, but
Yeah.
I'm in CGF in Nashville too. So if he's anything like my guys, and what you've been talking about, I can gather this from him. He doesn't have an agenda for you. There's nothing that he can gain. I say that with quotation marks. There's nothing that he can really gain from being there for you. Not from a worldly lens. Does that make sense?
100%.
I feed off conversations like these. I feed off helping people and loving on people and being there for them. Even though, and I think about it, I'm like, okay, from a worldly perspective, it doesn't make sense why I'm spending all my time on them. Hey, I've got my own things to do. I could be getting better at golf. I could be at work right now, making money, these things. And so why am I just spending my time talking to somebody?
Yeah.
Especially if they're struggling with this. And what does that mean? What does it have anything to do with me? But no, I feed off it because it's like I'm fulfilling a desire that's deeper than the world, than the physical, than what's just immediately in front of my face. This is life giving. This is I listened to the speaker Ed Milet, best speaker I've ever heard, by the way. And in his speech, he talked about it was like fulfillment through giving. You'll find better fulfillment, better success from giving rather than receiving. He said it a lot better than I did. I'll have to go back and look at my notes. But just something about the way he said it just hit me like a brick. Like, yes, the best I've ever felt, the best conversations I've ever had has just been for me giving rather than me receiving. Now, the conversations where I've received love and have been helped are amazing, but it's when I'm able to turn that around and do the same for somebody else. Gosh, I feel like Jesus just spoke through me and I was just filled by the Holy Spirit.
100%. Yeah.
That's what he does.
Yeah. Like we're the hands and feet. And being able to give to people is just great. And sometimes I struggle with it, but a lot of the times in this world, everybody likes to receive. What could I get from this person? What could benefit me? What's going to help me go farther in my career, my golf? But when we take a step back and we do something for somebody, we give to somebody, we say, hey, I'm here for you. I love you. You're seen. It feels good. It's so much more. It's just like the one thing too is the satisfaction of living a life where you know Christ and living a life where you don't know Christ.
Yeah.
And just the difference between in like giving and receiving. It's just a good example of how one side is you can receive as a Christian, but like giving, you should feel good about that. Like you don't have to pat yourself on the back, but that makes you feel good because like you're serving somebody. And you've been for plenty of people before too. So that's just what I love to do that. Giving. I'm always the best at no, but just the difference. I'm rambling a little bit, but just the difference between that and receiving. Like you said, just receiving, like we could all receive it. I'm trying to get to the point where you can all receive God's glory, but when you get to show somebody else, it really just pulls in your heart.
Yeah. More of God's glory when you give God's glory.
Yeah. That's
That's the nature of
100%.
his glory, right? Giving. Jesus constantly gave. It's like when we give, we are living like Jesus, and that is the best way to live. Man, just as we're wrapping up, we've talked about mentors. We've talked about finding people and connecting to people and being open, even as hard as it can be, because I've had to be open with my demons, but I never would have beaten them or overcome them if I hadn't been open about it and brought it to the light. And me and you got lucky. Someone else pointed us in the right direction. So let's
Yeah.
do that for somebody else. Let's point other people in the right direction. What are ways that people can go out and find people like what you have with Davis to go and find somebody they can trust if they don't have one? Someone that can show up for them like that? Just what's a way that they can go out and discover their Davis?
Yeah, 100%. I don't know what your main target for the podcast is. You have college golfers. College Golf Fellowship is a great ministry. You don't have to know anybody. You can just go, and you can meet there's 4 leaders there, and you can meet those guys. You can meet other players there. There's players there that could be mentors to you, and that could help you through it because they've been through it all and they've experienced it and they know. Also, I think just getting involved in church or getting involved in a community is a really good thing. I struggle down there with that. I didn't really find anything that I was too into but CGF, which it was great because it was a Bible study with their team. So I just think going to places it's not as hard as it seems. You drive on the road, you see a church. That's what they're for. They're for you to go into, and they're for you to meet people. It's hard. It's scary. Trust me. I was like, why? Everybody can go find it. But when I went out to Charlotte, it's scary just to go in a new place where you know nobody and try to build that. But the people there, you got to understand, is they're all on the same mission if you're going to the right place, and they want you there, and they'll do everything they can to help you out in your life.
Yeah. It's simply just going out and looking for it.
Simply. And it's not hard to find. It's right in front of you. You wake up in the morning, the sun comes up, it's in front of you.
That's a good analogy for that, actually. That's really good. I've never gone somewhere, and you can chalk it up to I live a pretty blessed life. I've never gone and looked for something and not found it.
Yeah.
I've actually never gone, and especially just from a Jesus lens, I've never gone around looking for Jesus and A, not found him, but B, not found even more than I was looking for.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
100%.
Like it's incredible just what you can find just by simply looking for it. And especially if that's Jesus, if you're looking for Jesus, trust me, Jesus is already looking for you. You will find him.
Yeah.
He will appear.
100%.
So simply just go out and find him. So that's my challenge to you guys this week. Just go out wherever you are and go find it. Go find Jesus. Whether it means showing up to a church, getting plugged in, just go and if you need somebody to be there for you and to show up for you like all of us do, just simply go out and find it. And it sounds scary, it sounds complicated, it sounds impossible, but it's less so than you think. The only way it is impossible is if you get too scared to try it at all. Go out and find it. Just go look, and I promise you, Jesus is going to show up, and he's going to bring someone into your life that if you let them, will change it forever.
100%.
Yeah. That's my challenge to you guys this week. Hope you live it out. Tanner, my friend, you are a blessing.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely, dude. You're awesome. I've really enjoyed our conversation. We feel like we went into some good spots.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Sorry. Haven't had my own podcast in a couple of years, so a little rusty here on the speaking skills and how to get it out. But yeah, I really appreciate you getting me warmed back up into it and just being able to talk about life and just like you said, stories, because I think everybody has their own testimony and everybody has different stories that people can relate to, but nobody can live the same story as you. And that's why we're all so unique. And just being able to tell those stories and learn from others is just the best way to The best way to grow.
Absolutely. I love bringing on different kinds of people. Me and you are both college golfers, or I guess you're a former college golfer at this point.
Retired.
And then, yeah, you're a retired college golfer at
We'll
this
throw it on the resume though.
Yeah, it still happened. You're a retired D1 golfer. And Evan was as a professional golfer, but I've also had a couple guys on here that's never picked up a club in their life. Just different stories, different backgrounds, and that's what I love. That's what I'll continue to do. Will golfers continue to be on here? Absolutely. But there will be somebody for everyone. I'm confident of that. I'm very confident of that. And again, stories are important.
Yeah, for sure.
Tanner, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on here. Thank you so much. I'm sure at some point in the future, maybe we can do something like this again.
100%. I'll have to be up here to Triple Crown, play some golf sometime here soon.
100%.
So we'll have to,
I don't think I've ever played that golf course.
then yeah, you're gonna have to come play. It's looking pretty nice right now. So
Love it. Yes, I would love to, man. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Living for His Glory. I had such an amazing time making it, and I really hope it connected and impacted you on a significant level. I love making and recording episodes like these. I truly believe that they fulfill the Living for His Glory mission, which is to help you break free of your worldly chains and step into the person that God has called you to be. I love you guys. I hope you guys got a lot out of this. I hope that it changes something about how you do this week. I hope you have a good day and a good week as we continue to get ready for next week's episode. Have a good day, guys, and I'll see you later.